भारत की परंपरा है शुभ कार्य का आरंभ।
Let's head straight to the groundbreaking ceremony. Live visuals coming in from where the foundation is going to be laid, and Prime Minister Modi is already there.
सर्वधर्म प्रार्थना के लिए इस अवसर पर सभी धर्म गुरुओं की गरिमामयी उपस्थिति भी है।
शांति 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 हस्तौ प्रक्षाल्य
पर सभी धर्म गुरुओं की गरिमामयी उपस्थिति भी है।
शांति शांति हस्तौ प्रक्षाल्य रक्षा रक्षा अपवित्रः पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थाङ्गतोऽपि वा यस्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्षं सबाह्याभ्यन्तरः शुचिः पुण्डरीकाक्षः पुनातो पुण्डरीकाक्षः पुनातो पुण्डरीकाक्षः पुनातो येन बद्धो केशवाय नमः नारायणाय नमः माधवाय नमः गोविन्दाय नमः विष्णवे नमः मधुसूदनाय नमः त्रिविक्रमाय नमः वामनाय नमः श्रीधराय नमः ऋषिकेशाय नमः पद्मनाभाय नमः दामोदराय नमः श्रीमहागणपतये नमः लक्ष्मीनारायणाभ्यां नमः उमामहेश्वराभ्यां नमः वाणी हिरण्यगर्भाभ्यां नमः शचीपुरन्दराभ्यां नमः अरुन्धती वसिष्ठाभ्यां नमः सीतारामाभ्यां नमः दुर्गायै नमः गणपतये नमः क्षेत्रपालाय नमः वास्तुपुरुषाय नमः मातृभ्यो नमः पितृभ्यो नमः गुरुभ्यो नमः आचार्येभ्यो नमः इष्टदेवताभ्यो नमः कुलदेवताभ्यो नमः ग्रामदेवताभ्यो नमः स्थानदेवताभ्यो नमः वास्तुदेवताभ्यो नमः सर्वेभ्यो देवेभ्यो नमः सर्वेभ्यो महाजनेभ्यो नमः करिष्यमाणस्य कर्मणः आरम्भमुहूर्तः सुमुहूर्तोऽस्त्वित्यनुगृह्णन्तु सुमुहूर्तोऽस्तु तदेव लग्नं सुदिनं तदेव ताराबलं चन्द्रबलं तदेव विद्याबलं दैवबलं तदेव लक्ष्मीपते तेऽङ्घ्रियुगं स्मरामि ध्रुवं ते राजा वरुणो ध्रुवं देवो बृहस्पतिः ध्रुवं त इन्द्रश्चाग्निश्च राष्ट्रं धारयतां ध्रुवम् तीक्ष्णदंष्ट्रमहाकाय कल्पान्तदहनोपमा भैरवाय नमस्तुभ्यम् अनुज्ञां दातुमर्हसि भैरवाय नमः। अभी इदानीं संकल्पः पुष्पाक्षतान् गृहीत्वा शुभतिथौ अमुकगोत्रः नरेन्द्र दामोदरदास मोदी नाम अहम् एतद्देश प्रतिनिधिभूतः एतद्देशवासिनां सर्वेषां सज्जनानां योगक्षेमार्थं राष्ट्रविरोधिनां निबर्हणद्वारा जनानां चित्तशान्ति चित्तस्थैर्य संतोषादि अभिवृद्ध्यर्थं एतद्देश वासिनां परस्पर विद्वेष परस्पर निंदा परस्पर हिंसादीनां निवृत्त्यर्थं परस्पर सौमनस्य सिद्ध्यर्थं एतद्देश परिपालन समये मुख्यामात्य महोदयेन अन्यैः सचिवादिभिश्च योग्य निर्णय स्वीकरणादिद्वारा एतद्देश अभिवृद्ध्यर्थं एतद्राष्ट्र परिपालनांगभूत कार्यालय भवन निर्माण कार्यस्य निर्विघ्नेन परिसमाप्त्यर्थम् आदित्यादीनां नवानां ग्रहाणां अनुकूलता सिद्ध्यर्थं नवग्रह प्रार्थनं भूदेवता प्रार्थनं अनंत कूर्म వరాహ దేవతా ప్రార్థనం, ఇంద్రాది దిక్పాలక దేవతా ప్రార్థనం, సంకల్పిత సకల కార్యస్య నిర్విఘ్నత సిద్ధ్యర్థం మహాగణపతి ప్రార్థనా పురస్సరం సంసద్భవన నిర్మాణాంగత్వేన ఆధారశిలాస్థాపన పూజనాఖ్యం కర్మ కరిష్యే. ముదైతి సర్వం తత్సుప్తస్య తథైవేతి దూరంగమం జ్యోతిషాం జ్యోతిరేకం తన్మే మనః శివ సంకల్పమస్తు. నమో గురుభ్యో గురుపాదుకాభ్యో నమః పరేభ్యః పరపాదుకాభ్యః ఆచార్య సిద్ధేశ్వర పాదుకాభ్యో నమోస్తు లక్ష్మీపతి పాదుకాభ్యః శ్రీ సద్గురు చరణారవిందాభ్యాం నమః. సుముఖశ్చైకదంతశ్చ కపిలో గజకర్ణకః లంబోదరశ్చ వికటో విఘ్నరాజో గణాధిపః ధూమకేతుర్గణాధ్యక్షః ఫాలచంద్రో గజాననః. ద్వాదశైతాని నామాని యః పఠేత్ శృణుయాదపి విద్యారంభే వివాహే చ ప్రవేశే నిర్గమే తథా సంగ్రామే సర్వకార్యేషు విఘ్నస్తస్య న జాయతే. శుక్లాంబరధరం విష్ణుం శశివర్ణం చతుర్భుజం ప్రసన్నవదనం ధ్యాయేత్ సర్వవిఘ్నోపశాంతయే. అభీప్సితార్థ సిద్ధ్యర్థం పూజితో యస్సురైరపి సర్వవిఘ్నచ్ఛిదే తస్మై గణాధిపతయే నమః. గణానాం త్వా గణపతిగుం హవామహే కవిం కవీనాముపమశ్రవస్తమం జ్యేష్ఠరాజం బ్రహ్మణాం బ్రహ్మణస్పత ఆనః శృణ్వన్నోతిభిः సీద సాదనం. నమో వ్రాతపతయే నమో గణపతయే నమః ప్రమథపతయే నమస్తే అస్తు లంబోదరాయైకదంతాయ విఘ్ననాశినే శివసుతాయ శ్రీవరదమూర్తయే నమః. నమః వక్రతుండ మహాకాయ సూర్యకోటి సమప్రభా నిర్విఘ్నం కురు మే దేవ సర్వకార్యేషు సర్వదా. శ్రీ మహాగణపతయే నమః. సర్వోపచారార్థే గంధాక్షతపత్ర పుష్పాణి సమర్పయామి. क्षेत्रस्य पतिना वयगं हित.
अभी नया संसद भवन के निर्माण हेतु सभी कार्य निर्विघ्न से संपन्न हो, इसलिए भगवान गणेश जी का सबसे पहले प्रार्थना की गई है. सुबह से हमने पूजा सब कुछ किया हुआ था. अब इसके उपरांत क्षेत्रपाल की प्रार्थना करके उसके बाद भूमाता की प्रार्थना करेंगे. उसके उपरांत अनंत रूपी आदिशेष की पूजा करेंगे. तदुपरांत कूर्म और वराह रूपी भगवान विष्णु की प्रार्थना करेंगे. नवग्रह की प्रार्थना करके नवरत्न से भरा आधारशिला की स्थापना की जाएगी. उसके बाद में नवधान्य नवरत्न और पंचधातु से भरा हुआ कलश की स्थापना होंगे. उसके बाद शंकु स्थापना किया जाएगा. सबसे अंतिम में आधारशिला सबसे प्रमुख शिलान्यास भी किया जाएगा. अभी क्षेत्रपाल की प्रार्थना करेंगे.
क्षेत्रस्य पतिना भजगुं हितेनेव जयामसि गामश्वं पोषयित्वा सनो मृडातीदृशे. क्षेत्रपालाय नमः. सूर्यशौर्यमथेन्दुरिन्द्र पदवीं सन्मङ्गलं मङ्गलः. सद्बुद्धिं च बुधो गुरुश्च गुरुतां शुक्रः शुभं शंशनिः. राहुर्बाहुबलं करोतु विपुलं केतुः कुलस्योन्नतिम्. नित्यं प्रीतिकरा भवन्तु सततं सर्वेऽनुकूलाग्रहाः. आरोग्यं पद्मबन्धुर्वितरतु नितरां सम्पदं शीतरश्मिः. भूलाभं भूमिपुत्रः सकलगुणयुतां वाग्विभूतिं च सौम्यः. सौभाग्यं देवमन्त्री रिपुभयशमनं भार्गवः शौर्यमार्किः. दीर्घायुः सैंहिकेयो विपुलतरयशः केतुराचन्द्रतारम्. अरिष्टानि प्रणश्यन्तु दुरितानि भयानि च. शान्तिरस्तु शुभं मेस्तु ग्रहाः कुर्वन्तु मङ्गलम्. नमः सूर्याय चन्द्राय मङ्गलाय बुधाय च. गुरुशुक्रशनिभ्यश्च राहवे केतवे नमः. आदित्यादिनवग्रहेभ्यो नमः. इंद्राद्यष्टदिक्पालकेभ्यो नमः. श्यामां विचित्रां शुकरत्नभूषणां पद्मासनां तुङ्गपयोधरानताम्. इन्दीवरे द्वे नवशालिमञ्जरीं शुकं दधानां वसुधां भजामहे. वराङ्कुशौपाशमभीतिमुद्राम् करैर्वहन्तीम् कमलासनस्थाम् बालार्ककोटिप्रतिभाम् त्रिनेत्राम् भजेऽहमम्बाम् जगदीश्वरीम् ताम् महेद्यौः पृथिवी च न इमम् यज्ञम् मिमिक्षताम् पिप्रतान्नो भरीमभिः धनुर्धरायै विद्महे सर्वसिद्ध्यै च धीमहि तन्नो धरा प्रचोदयात् भूदेव्यै नमः सर्वोपचारार्थे गन्धाक्षतपत्रपुष्पाणि समर्पयामि खननार्थमनुज्ञाम् देहि ओम ह्रीं स्फुर स्फुर प्रस्फुर प्रस्फुर घोर घोर तरतनुरूप चट चट प्रचट प्रचट कह कह वम वम बंध बंध घातय घातय हुंफट श्रीं पशु हुंफट पुष्पाक्षतान् गृहीत्वा
अनन्तः सर्वनागानामधिपो विश्वपालनः
सहस्रफण संयुक्तः करोतु मम मङ्गलम् नमो अस्तु सर्पेभ्यो ये के च पृथिवी मनो ये अन्तरिक्षे ये दिवि तेभ्यः सर्पेभ्यो नमः अनन्ताय नमः निजपृष्ठपरिश्रान्तमन्तरग्रावकोटिभिः कण्डोति सुखसुप्ताय नमः कूर्माय विष्णवे इदम् विष्णुर्विचक्रमे त्रेधा निदधे पदम् समूढमस्य पागुम् सुरे कूर्मरूपिणे विष्णवे नमः आस्ते मुक्ता सकलवत्सकलापि वसुन्धरा यस्य दंष्ट्रान्तरे तस्मै नमः क्रोडाय विष्णवे त्रीणि पदा विचक्रमे विष्णुर्गोपा अदाभ्यः अतो धर्माणि धारयन् वराहरूपिणे श्रीविष्णवे नमः सर्वोपचारार्थे गन्धाक्षतपत्रपुष्पाणि समर्पयामि आदित्यादिनवग्रहाः शुभकरा मेषादयो राशयः नक्षत्राणि सयोगकाश्च तिथयस्तद्देवतास्तद्गणाः मासाब्धारुसवस्तथैव दिवसा सन्ध्यास्तथा रात्रयः सर्वे स्थावरजङ्गमाः प्रतिदिनम् कुर्यात् सदा मङ्गलम् आधारशिलास्थापनलग्नकाले नवग्रहाः सुप्रीताः सुप्रसन्ना वरदा भवन्तु सुमुहूर्तः सावधानाः सुलग्नाः सावधानाः तदेव लग्नम् सुदिनम् तदेव ताराबलम् चन्द्रबलम् तदेव विद्याबलम् दैवपदम् तदेव लक्ष्मीपते तेऽङ्घ्रियुगम् स्मरामि ध्रुवाद्यौर्ध्रुवा पृथिवी ध्रुवासः पर्वता इमे ध्रुवम् विश्वमिदम् जगद्ध्रुवो राजा विशामयम् ध्रुवम् ते राजा वरुणो ध्रुवम् देवो बृहस्पतिः ध्रुवम् त इन्द्रश्चाग्निश्च राष्ट्रम् धारयताम् ध्रुवम् गृह वै प्रतिष्ठा सूक्तम् तत्प्रतिष्ठिततमया वाचा स्तव्यम् तस्माद्यद्यपि दूरैव पशून् लभते गृहामेवैनानादिगमिष्यति गृहा हि पशूनाम् प्रतिष्ठा प्रतिष्ठा नरिय प्रजाम् मे गोपाया अमृतत्वाय जीवसे जाताञ्जनिष्यमाणान् च अमृते सत्ये प्रतिष्ठिता आधारशिलास्थापनमुहूर्तः सुमुहूर्तोऽस्मि विद्यनुगृह्णन्तु सुमुहूर्त ओषधयः संवदन्ते सोमेन सह राज्ञा यस्मै करोति ब्राह्मणस्तगुम् राजन् पारयामसि पर्वत इवाविचाचलिः इन्द्र इवेह ध्रुवस्तिष्ठा इह राष्ट्रमुधारया अभितिष्ठ पृतन्यतः अधरे सन्तु शत्रवः इंद्र इव वृत्रः तिष्ठा अपः क्षेत्राणि संजयन् इंद्र एणमदे धरत ध्रुवं ध्रुवेण हविषा तस्मै देवाधिब्रवन् अयं च ब्रह्मणस्पतिः शंकुस्थापन मुहूर्तः सुमुहूर्तोऽस्त्वित्यनुगृह्णन्तो शंकुस्थापन मुहूर्तः सुमुहूर्तो अस्तु प्रार्थना त्वमेव परमाशक्तिस्त्वमेव सनधारिका देवाज्ञया त्वया देवि स्थातव्यमिह सर्वदा स्थितं चराचरं यस्यां रत्नानां निधिरव्ययः सा त्वं ब्रह्मशिलारूपां तिष्ठात्र धरणी स्थिरा यावच्चन्द्रश्च सूर्यश्च यावत्तिष्ठति मेदिनी तावत्त्वयात्र देवेशि स्थातव्यं हितकाम्यया आधारशिलायै नमः अनेन आधारशिलास्थापन भूदेवतादिपूजनेन श्री परमेश्वरः प्रीयताम् कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृतिस्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि ॐ तत्सत् ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः अनुगृहीतेन प्रसादेन सर्वाभीष्टसिद्धिरस्तु
पारंपरिक विधि विधान से संपन्न हुए शिलान्यास पूजन के अंत में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के बाद लोकसभा अध्यक्ष, राज्यसभा के उपसभापति, संसदीय कार्य मंत्री और आवासन एवं शहरी कार्य मंत्री भूमि पूजन सामग्री अर्पित कर रहे हैं।
वासिष्ठे पशुभिश्चाप्नुहि प्रजाः भद्रे काश्यपदायादे प्रजानां भद्रमावह जये भार्गवदायादे प्रजानां जयमावह पूर्णे भार्गवदायादे पूर्णकामां प्रजां कुरु
मान्यवर, हमारे देश की लोकतंत्र की परंपराएं
त्वमेव परमाशक्तिस्त्वमेव सनधारिका देवाज्ञया त्वया देवी स्थातव्यमिह सर्वदा
Ladies and gentlemen, the auspicious ceremony of laying of foundation stone has been concluded, and now Honorable Prime Minister is proceeding to unveil the plaque. माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के कर कमलों द्वारा नए संसद भवन का शिलान्यास संपन्न हो गया है। अब प्रधानमंत्री जी पट्टिका का अनावरण करेंगे। मान्यवर, हमारे देश में लोकतंत्र की परंपराएं इस पुण्य भूमि पर हमारे यशस्वी पूर्वजों की हजारों वर्ष पुरानी पीढ़ियों से चली आ रही हैं, निरंतर समृद्ध और मजबूत हो रही हैं। वैदिक ऋषि कामना करते हैं, ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषा। करने के लिए जाते हुए और प्रधानमंत्री जी के साथ आदरणीय लोकसभा अध्यक्ष समेत विशिष्ट अतिथिगण भी पट्टिका अनावरण में प्रधानमंत्री जी के साथ। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी द्वारा नए संसद भवन की स्मृति पट्टिका का अनावरण, जिस पर अंकित है 10 दिसंबर 2020 की वो तारीख जब कोरोना काल में पूरा विश्व आशंकित है। भारत बढ़ चला है नए संकल्पों की ओर। किसी राष्ट्र के इतिहास में कुछ अवसर मील पत्थर जैसे होते हैं, जब राष्ट्र अपनी गौरवमय यात्रा को पीछे मुड़कर देखता है और गर्व तथा विश्वास के साथ अगला महत्वपूर्ण कदम रखता है। आज संसद के नए भवन की इमारत का शिलान्यास भी ऐसा ही एक कदम है और आज का भारत तो युवा ऊर्जा से उज्ज्वलित अपने सपनों को पूरा करने की स्वच्छंद आकांक्षाओं के आसमान में परवाज को अधीर है। आज भारत वैश्विक पटल पर अपनी छाप अंकित कर रहा है। नई इमारत विश्व के सबसे बड़े लोकतंत्र के गौरव के अनुरूप ही होगी। सजातो येन जातेन याति वंशः समुन्नतम, यानी कुछ नया होने से स्थान या स्वरूप के परिवर्तित होने से भी परंपराओं की ही श्रीवृद्धि होती है। इन मायनों में बहुत पावन है आज का ये अवसर। Ladies and gentlemen, on this historic occasion, we extend gracious welcome to eminent guests on the dais. We welcome Honorable Prime Minister, Speaker Lok Sabha, Shri Om Birla, Cabinet Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, Shri Prahlad Venkatesh Joshi, Leader of Opposition, Rajya Sabha.
Visuals of the Prime Minister firstly, we saw that Bhumi Pujan and scores of dignitaries right there on your screens for the proposed four-story building that would be the new parliament, sprawl an area of 64,500 square meters and cost an estimated 971 crore rupees. The ceremony, which was slated to start at 1 p.m. is underway. The Bhumi Pujan and the laying of the foundation stone, which is slated to happen today. And let me in fact reintroduce our guests who are going to be talking about this landmark occasion in Indian democracy. Dr. Gulresh Sheikh, BJP leader, joins us on the broadcast.
Thank you.
Political commentator is also here with us. Satish K. Singh, senior journalist. Last but not the least, Joyita Basu, editor of the Sunday Guardian, also joining us on this momentous broadcast. Satish K. Singh, let me come to you first. Well, just a few minutes ago, we had members of the opposition who categorically criticized the timing of this particular inauguration. They haven't, in fact, questioned whether this should be done or not. They're all in for it, and why shouldn't they be? The UPA 1 and the UPA 2 also wanted to have a bigger parliament building. What do you make of the opposition, in fact, nitpicking on everything that the government has been doing, especially when it comes to spending money to create a new India?
Well, as the Prime Minister himself recently said, that he cannot run India by having an old pot, and you need new policies for new India in 21st century. The opposition can take heart from the fact that at least the government of the day is avowing its commitment to democratic principles and parliamentary democracy, which is also on their radar, that always accuse Modi government of being dictatorial, authoritarian, and bypassing parliament or not doing things in the proper way, as, for example, recently the farm bills. And yes, there are certain questions that I would like to bring to your notice and your viewers. Well, I am very happy that the parliamentary democracy gets new commitment. You are doing away with the remnants of the British Raj. That's fairly okay. There's no problem. I also see that if there is a new parliament building, perhaps the kind of the seats frozen that we have seen, maybe in future, it gives me hope that there will be an increase in the numbers of parliamentary seats in the country, which is frozen right now at 552 for Lok Sabha and 250 for Rajya Sabha. So perhaps there might be an increase in near future, and there has been demand as well. The point here is that yes, Parliament is not very supreme, but it is sovereign. It is its sanctity cannot be done away with, and we can take pride in our parliamentary heritage, the debate, the discussion, the process, and eloquence, and the kind of historic speeches that we have seen in Parliament. You know, always there will be an attack on the Parliament. At the time of Anna Andolan also, what we saw was that the entire Parliament got together to co-opt Anna's demand, though they did not want it from inside. We all know that all party collaborated there, but the parliamentary practices, parliamentary democracy needs new commitment. So you may question the number, the kind of money that is being put, which is right or not at this point. Prime Minister might not have envisaged that the farmers will jam Delhi and there'll be on dharna and agitation at this point, because the date for this Silanyas must have been fixed earlier. You can also criticize the fact that yes, during the Corona period, is this money justified? But these are the questions for the opposition parties to raise. What I, as a person, is only interested that I am a very proud Indian who belongs to the largest democracy, and also the fact that I come from a state where the most ancient republic and the democracy started all over the world, that is Vaishali in India.
Okay, Gulresh Sheikh, if we can have a word or two from you as well. The largest democracy, you can even call it one of the oldest civilizations in the world, needs a new parliament building. And Joyita and Sumit, they have been on the show for quite some time now. They have made some valid points. The gumption behind the new building is not only to usher in a new era of Indian democracy and progressive outlook, but it is also to accommodate our bustling democracy and the population and the number of representatives that the parliament building can hold.
You are correct, Vineet. And first of all, I will like to congratulate Bharat, because it's a great day for India, and today we have laid down the foundation of our parliament made by ourselves. So we are slowly shattering away all those signs and symbols of British Raj which enslaved us, and on 75th Independence Day we will be having our own new and grand parliament. And those people in opposition who are questioning about the rationale behind why you are spending this small sum of money, which is less than 1,000 crore rupees during the COVID days, they must understand that this is Bharat, and this is Bharat which has built the parliament, a great and grand parliament for Afghanistan. We have made supreme courts for other neighboring countries. We had made hospitals in Sri Lanka. So we do for everybody. So why not for our own democracy, so that upon can have pride, and it will also enhance our democratic values, because with the more number of seats for parliamentarians, sooner you will have more parliamentarians, definitely, because we have not only increased in our democratic size but also in our population as well as our geographical areas of our cities. They have also expanded. So we need more representation, and more representation means what? More representation means more accountability for the people of India. So it is, the colors of our democracy are shining colors, and we are definitely proud on it. And as far as the finance and amount which is being spent upon it is concerned, see, right now we are having secretariats, we are also having plan of a grand vista, and in which all the secretariats will be put together in a single building, in spite of those 47 buildings we are using, and we are spending something around 1,000 crore rupees per year. for communication between these different buildings, for taking files, for security purposes, and all that will reduce dramatically. So what we are spending on construction is even less than what we are spending each year on the maintenance and communication and security.
Right,
Because of all these different buildings.
Right, absolutely. And Joyita, this particular building was constructed in 1927. In fact, it's going to complete 100 years. And the way things have developed, it has not caught up. With the technological advancements, certain earthquake parameters are also in fact not present when the foundation for this particular building was laid. Those technologies were not even available. It took 6 years at that point in time for this building to be constructed. Sir Edward Lutyens, who designed the Heart of Delhi, was also responsible for designing this building. And obviously, these facts need to be pronounced, and these facts need to be, in fact, propagated a lot more than whether this is needed or not. This is not needed, this is the need.
This is very much needed because, as I also mentioned earlier, and as Mr. Singh also mentioned, first of all, there is a need to increase the number of Lok Sabha seats. In fact, Pranab Mukherjee, when he was alive, he was talking about India should be having at least 1,000 Lok Sabha seats. And it is not just about the areas of the Lok Sabha constituencies, it's also in terms of the number of people. That proportionate to the number of people, the representative who is going to represent the particular constituency or a number of people in parliament should be equal in all states. That is what the idea is. And if you look at it, the number per population has more than doubled from, I think, 1951 when the first census was conducted. So it is, it goes without, census in independent India I'm talking about. So obviously it goes without saying that, we need to increase the number of seats. We need a modern building, which is also essentially Indian. Let's not forget, however, significant an architect Edwin Lutyens was. He was British, and whatever we have in this country in terms of the parliament building, it's a colonial legacy, it's a British legacy. It's high time, and here we are talking about the temple of democracy in an India which is, I think, 75 years of independence. It's more than important that we should have our own parliament building. And when it comes to the cost, and yes, an Indian building which is also modern, Indian always does not mean whatever our tradition is, whatever we are, our heritage is. It's not modern, let's not talk about that. We are as modern can be. So we can have an Indian building which is as modern as any parliament or any modernist building in the world. Okay, but it need not always be a Western design, it's an Indian design. So that is number one, very important. And in terms of cost, as I mentioned in your earlier segment, Vinny, it's the cost of, I think, if you go to South Delhi, in certain areas, each of these flats sell for about 12-13 crores. Okay, and actually I'm talking about prices which were about 3 years back. So this is the cost about 80 or 90 flats, and that is in South Delhi. So frankly, the money is basically chicken feed. It is pocket change. So I don't think there's any need to talk about the kind of expenses this building will require. But yes, at the same time, think of in terms of the number of jobs that it will generate. Whenever any kind of infrastructure project, it also, generates a lot of work, a lot of employment. That is why there is need for growth in terms of in the infrastructure sector. There's so much happening in that. It's a huge labor-intensive area, and because of which it needs a lot of people participation. So that is, I think what makes perfect sense, and it should be happening in 75 years. And I would like to see whether they are talking in terms of delimitation of the parliamentary constituencies and what kind of next step, what moves are being made to increase the number of Lok Sabha seats, and whether in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, India will be going for elections with more than 542 seats. Maybe it's going to be 700, it could be 800. That is something we have to, I'm anticipating this may happen.
The Parliament building, the Vista project, the ambitious Vista project by the government is in fact, a 20,000 crore project, and at the same time, the Supreme Court had pulled up the government, Sumit, accusing it of pushing forward aggressively with the project when the decision is still pending. In fact, the Supreme Court went on to say that you can lay the foundation stone, you can carry on paperwork, but no construction or demolition, no cutting down of trees will be allowed. And this is perhaps something that you think might have galvanized the opposition also into upping the ante?
I think, Vineet, first of all, it's an occasion to celebrate. I want to congratulate you, Modi ji, and all the people who are watching this telecast, and the nation of 1.3 billion, 5 billion Indians. This is a moment when we are making our own parliament house. And you know what is unique about it? We are doing it with an all prayer, all religion prayer ceremony. So all the religions, which even if you look up Jaivism and all, which are very minuscule in India, again the Ravis are there, Maulvis are there, Pandits are there, Sikh Gurus are there. So we are doing a composite Bhumi Pujan of our temple of democracy, which is not to any faith or any religion, is for the India as such. So it's a moment to celebrate. Now coming to the aspects of the Supreme Court has said, look, as you can go to the Supreme Court and come up with your set of challenges, but the Supreme Court said, look, you can do the Bhumi Pujan right now, but don't start the construction and demolition till the time the kind of dust settles and we are able to hear what the other side has as apprehension over the project. But now let's look at the project as such, Vineet. Today we are spending what Gulrez Bhai rightly said, 1,000 crores a year, which are when the ministries have to be kept out of the parliament, because this can only house 22 ministries with 10,000 people. Now, the moment this all is built, we say 1,000 crores a year, which means at the cost is 871 crores. That means the ROI of the project is less than 12 months. That's point number one. Point number two, this all farmer and coronavirus, when this was done, it was a budgeted expense. So it was budgeted around 1.5 years back. That time Modi ji did not know there will be a coronavirus, because we are not manufacturing viruses in our labs like China. Neither we know the farmers will come and block the daily gates. So nobody sent an invitation or an intimation to Modi ji. So there's no way you could have known about it. Now, when it's a budget expense, and look at our size of the economy, 3 trillion, $470 billion of foreign exchange reserves. We are buying weapons for we even bought $50-70 billion. We have just bought $22 billion from US. Our infrastructure projects going around Delhi are more than $600 million. Our infrastructure going in India are around $20 to $25 billion. We have enrolled a stimulus of $300 to $400 billion already after the pandemic. Vaccine testing is going, everything is going, finance fight. Now, why on this earth do we want to stop this project? This $150 million will be paid in a span of 3 years. Then if you do the mathematics, 300 crore saal ka divided by 12, that's 80 lakh rupees per day. So do you think the Republic of India is so weak that we cannot foot the expense for the temple of our democracy, which costs 80 lakh rupees per day? Forget the number of jobs, forget the ROI, forget everything. And if we do it, Vineet, what is the message we are sending out? How will your good friend Pakistan look at it? And how will the China, look at it? What will be the international media news? India stops the construction of its iconic parliament and goes back to the British era legacy with British left for them. So that is responsibility. Why do you want to continue it? Why do you want to continue? Opposing everything is not good. Oppose what you want to oppose. Pick and choose your opposition. Don't oppose the sentiments of people. We need to run a poll. Run a poll right now. You will see millions of Indians, billions will vote and say this is the right thing to do. We want our pride, sir. We are entering our 75th year of independence. Why we should not have a parliament of our own? What is Atmanirbhar with a British parliament? Why not our own parliament? Why not all pitting meeting? Why not we lay the foundation stone of our temple of democracy? What is wrong there? And for a country of our size, can't we handle this expense? What Joyita ji rightly said, this is pocket change. I don't know what is a better word in English. It's less than that. Don't oppose constructive approach, things. Oppose what you are good at, what it makes national sense. Because by doing this, you're not, your public sentiment is going against you and you're only strengthening Modi. Modi ji did what he had to do today. The foundation stone is low. The name Narendra Modi is there. There's nothing you can do to change it now. So right now, it would be better if you would be a part of that show. You would be in those pictures, you will be in that media coverage. By opposing it for the heck of it, is not going to get you anywhere. We need opposition which is formidable and which is constructive. We not need opposition which just opposes. भाई मैं opposition हूँ, मेरा काम है oppose करना, कुछ भी करो, कभी भी करो, मैं oppose करूँगा. I mean that thing has to go, Vinny. That thing has to go. We have far lived that. Back to you.
Singh, don't oppose for the sake of opposing. There has to be, context and content to the thing that you're opposing. And, it should definitely not border on something which, hurts the national pride. And this is a subject which perhaps can be construed as something which is very sensitive to not only, the current dispensation and the citizens, but hopefully to the opposition as well.
Well, Vineet, opposing is also a parliamentary way of living in democracy. That's a part of the parliamentary democracy. Whether you are in opposition or I'm in opposition, you need to put up arguments and facts for democracy to thrive. That's one. Secondly, I was just recalling one very good fact, which is etched in my memory. I was there at the Parliament House when the attackers, the terrorists, barged into Parliament, and I was there on the scene. Yes, for 2.5 hours, I was covering as a reporter. I personally would like to see that memory to be there, but scars should not be there. But that building to be kept. You need a new one, no problem. But the heritage, how many old heritage you will demolish? You cannot. I hope it is not being demolished. It should be kept as a heritage. Mark, for me, the challenges are many others. Are we fully committed to, whether opposition or the ruling dispensation, are we wedded to constitutionalism that we had constituted through our Constituent Assembly? It's more about parliamentary sense and ethos, number one. Number two, what I'm saying is that as far we are talking about money factor. Money is a problem. There is no doubt about it. I think the government of India is also finding a lot of problems with the money management as of now, whether we have the BOP very good, but at the same time, what we are seeing is that you have 126%, 8% plus, budgetary overrun and cutting in the expenses of 22 ministries and budgetary expenses. And third, already Nirmala Sitharaman is saying that we are going to exceed the fiscal deficit target by beyond 8%. So there is a problem. But having said that, for a grand future-looking democratic principles, democratic edifice, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. But everything has to be taken into context. When Prime Minister is talking about one nation, one election, I think we need to have a kind of debate that is going on. You tell me that, yeah, simply you can say, why not? Why not without arguing? Why not one election? Why not one nation? Why not one election? That's there. But there should be a debate. There should be a procedure. So let the opposition oppose. They have their own rationale, they have their own reasons. I, for one, I only want my parliament, my democracy, my Indian Republic, my constitutionalism, and my constitution and my courts to not only to survive, but to thrive.
Okay, that's a good statement. You want your constitution, your courts not only to survive, but thrive as well. Dr. GVR Shastri, political analyst, also joins us on the broadcast to give his thoughts about the new parliament building. Dr. Shastri, we haven't heard your perspective on the matter. The opposition has categorically, enunciated that this is an expense which could have been delayed, if not, completely stopped at this point in time, considering the COVID-19 crisis and considering the economic stress the country finds itself in. Your reaction?
See, as an economist, if you ask me, this nation needs expenditure reforms. Any expenditure reform, because you are at this hour, unexpected defense outlay, from China and there is an aggression from China. You are outlay almost 2 lakhs crores you are spending on that border. It is completely unexpected, unwanted, and because of your disaster bilateral relation with China, your expenditure incurred is 2 lakh crores above. And more than that, 1 lakh people have died. 525 districts, you would have allocated this 25,000 crores of parliament would have been allocated to 525 crores, 50 crores. Every district get like a 50 crores hospital. And 1 lakh people have died. They need compensation. There is a governance. The governance doesn't mean an exhibition. A governance needs on a priority basis. Economics is not, even God comes down and he can't change the economics. Because economics is so powerful like that. You need to understand. You need to understand. Parliament is not so much priority right now. There are 1 lakh people have died. 525 districts, this COVID X vaccine. At all, you have to think in that way. This vaccination doesn't work. It may be contingency plan. As a government, you require to understand that. If vaccination doesn't work, vaccination is not successful, what will happen to this nation?
Dr. Shastri,
has you thought of that?
Does this also...
This is what, because you have to think everything.
Dr. Shastri, I have a counter question. Does this also mean that the government should stop spending on necessary upgradation of infrastructure?
No. Expenditure, yes. Absolutely. Expenditure reforms. I said income reforms, revenue reforms, expenditure reforms. This nation must exercise the expenditure reforms.
Okay.
There is no ambiguity on it.
Okay.
There is no, because the expected revenue was not there. There is a shortfall of revenue.
Okay. When you
101% shortfall of revenue.
Okay, Sumit.
There is absolutely accuracy on that.
Okay.
There is no debate. If anybody wants to debate, I can challenge them. They are 100% accurately wrong.
Dr. Shastri,
no economist will say that.
He wants to come in and he wants to respond to you, Sumit. Dr. Shastri is making a valid point that expenditure reforms need to be made. There could be districts, villages, places in the country which could perhaps, see.
No, in my home district, there is no district hospital. There is no district hospital. People have died. My own relatives have died without hospital.
Okay.
What else you want?
We cannot.
In Delhi, we can talk. My own people have died. Almost 13 people. In my own family, there are 13 people have died.
All right. Dr. Shastri, hold your horses. I'm trying to get your point across and get a reaction from Sumit Peer as well. We cannot be pound foolish and penny wise is perhaps the crux of what Dr. Shastri is saying. The expenditure reforms is something which is, it's a discussion that is debatable, Sumit.
You see, the point here is that, when I'll give the numbers and let Mr. Shastri tell me I'm wrong. Do we have $470 billion of foreign exchange reserve? Yes or no? Yes. Is our economy 3 trillion? Yes or no? Yes. Have we given a stimulus of $300 to $400 billion? But Shastri bolne dijiye. Now, the point here is that, are we saying that we are curtailing or stopping anything because of this? Now, did we invent Xi Jinping to come and sit on our border? Did we send him a telegram of invitation? Do we want to surrender our territory to Xi Jinping? No. So we have to stop him. Right? So we have, the amount of money government is spending on vaccination, on testing, on prevention of coronavirus is phenomenal. We have one of the best recovery rates and the best track records visually handling coronavirus. Look at our numbers and look at the economy, which is 8 times our size US. Compare our track record on coronavirus, you have the answer. Now my problem is, if you boil down the numbers, and second point we need, it's a budgeted expense. Budgeted means it is not budgeted today. It was budgeted long back, and the outflow is 300 crores in a year. That means 25 crores. 50 lakhs per day. So I don't know what is Mr. Shastri trying to say.
I pity on you. The kind of
are we going to stop everything? Is this 80 lakhs going to get the dead alive?
Pity on you.
Is this 80 lakhs what is this?
Gentlemen, can I answer? Can I answer you?
I want you to tell me.
Can I answer you? See, this nation, no, 1 minute. This nation. No. Can you listen me very carefully?
Of the infrastructure project, Shastri ji. Have we stopped highways? Have we stopped everything? Your state government spending much more than that on your advertising. Have we stopped everything?
Can I?
Okay, hold on. Let Dr. Shastri respond to what Sumit Peer has said. Dr. Shastri, something that Sumit said you found to be very amusing and enterprising. I'm curious to know what was it?
I also want to ask something.
The surplus $1 billion he is talking about. Please understand the communication system which we are spending. If I am the BSNL chairman, if I am the Prime Minister, I will not charge 10 rupees above for one mobile, which we are charging 100 crores mobile. 1,000 crores is more than enough to put across the entire nation Wi-Fi. SIM card is not required. 4 lakh crores we are common man's purchasing power is being misused for 4 lakh crores. This nation budget is 24 lakh crores. Please, Sumant, please listen. No, Sumit, please listen. First, let me complete. Don't interrupt.
Okay.
Let me complete. You will also understand what I am coming from.
Right,
because this pain is belongs to your pain also.
Yeah.
Please listen. I have written a book. Please listen. So what I am saying, 4 lakh crores we are spending on the communication. First of all, this communication system should not be with the privatization. Similarly, the agricultural farmer, integrated multi-purpose, multi-level warehousing, we never thought of it. CWC, FCI is absolute.
Dr. Shastri.
No, can I complete? Can I please, 1 minute? FCI, CWC is absolute. Why farmers are in the road? Because the sand is farmer. Water, fertilizers, seeds, power, and infrastructure, agriculture, these all fingers are weak. These fingers are weak. This farmer is weak. Because of money.
Okay.
Because of money. What I said, simple thing is, 24 lakh crores your budget. Your budget is not 3 trillion economy. Your budget is not. Say, please. Can I complete here? You please, he allowed him to complete. Just 10 seconds. So you should think on these lines. What is the shortfall of GST? Let's debate with the Nirmala Sitharaman or any financial secretaries. Come in front of me. I will challenge them. I will prove them every word by word, every number by number. This way, everybody will get ashamed of it.
Okay.
Put their heads down.
You have ended your point with a flourish. I want Gulresh Sheikh, in fact. He's representing the government over here officially. I want him to respond to what you just said. The shortfall of the GST, Gulresh, is what Dr. Shastri has spoken about. What are your thoughts on that? And please be specific to my question. I want you to answer specifically to the point Dr. Shastri has made.
See, Vineet, as far as the shortfall of GST is concerned, you will look at the figures of February before the lockdown was there, and we reached up to the mark of 1 lakh crore per month, and which was almost what we were desiring. So GST was growing. Then came the lockdown. Then came the corona. Then our economy had got a blow. But now today you look at the figures from -23 around, we are at -8, and I am optimistic that after 2 quarters we will be out of inflation as well. But what it looks like that Mr. Shastri as well as some. Let me complete, sir. I was silent. It looks like that Mr. Shastri or even some parties who get funds from China or Chinese embassy, they want.
I'm also getting funds.
No, I'm not telling. I'm telling about some parties. I'm not
getting
even.
funds.
Not at all, sir. Not at all. You are my brother. You are my elder brother. No. Minute. Only 1 second. Let me complete. I said Mr. Shastri and some parties who are getting funds, they want to do everything from that money. I'm not telling about you, I'm telling about the political party. But let me complete at least, sir. I was silent when you were speaking. I didn't say you. I said you and a party which gets funds from Chinese embassy. They want to do everything from this 1,000, everything in India from this 1,000 crore rupees. And even this month, more than that, we are already every year we are spending on communication between the 47 buildings of different ministries. Okay, so this is basically saving time. This is basically saving money. This is This is making our democracy fast. It will reduce the reduce the work time.
Gulrez, hold on, Gulrez. Dr. Shastri, I want to also get a reaction from Joyita.
I didn't got any uninterrupted time.
If you can kindly permit only 1 second.
All right, go ahead, Dr. Shastri.
See, Mr. Gulyal Sheikh should tell the nation, these 25,000 crores, are you allocating from income? Are you allocating from revenue? And what is the difference between income and revenue as far as the nation is concerned? First tell me this.
Let
Put
the
your
work
hand on
start.
that. First you tell me this, answer it. I will never speak about it if you can answer this.
Yes, unfortunately, I am not the CAG, but CAG will tell the nation that.
What is the difference between income and revenue? Is it a part of revenue? Is it a part of income you are allocating? This 25,000 crores.
Oh, definitely, it has to be part of income only.
Oh! That is what I want. This is the biggest blunder you have said.
Okay, I want Joyita. Now, Joyita, I want you to respond to the exchange that we just saw between Dr. Shastri and Gulrez, that obviously expenditure is something which every country needs to be parsimonious about. You have to have a very calibrated approach when there is a lack of funds, but that's not the case with us. We have reserves, we have backup, and we are not doing that bad.
Oh, I don't think we are doing that bad. In fact, we are not doing bad at all. And when you are looking at this, and this is, I mean, as I have been mentioning ever since the beginning of the program, that this is chicken feed. 967 crore, this is chicken feed. I'm telling you, you can build, you can have 80, you can buy 80 flats in South Delhi, or not even 80, you can perhaps, I think, 60, 70 flats. I mean, in current valuation. That is what the money is about. And if we are talking about district hospitals and all that, I think even every state governments also have the responsibility of building district hospitals.
But nobody has built. Is central government says state, state says center.
So the thing is, you see, I think one good thing I would say is that yes, everybody should cut down on their, what they can do is that the kind of propaganda and all that, all the state governments do for that matter, and they can always build district hospitals, and maybe all the money that is siphoned by different politicians in different states, a part of that money, that can be a good scheme actually. Your black money you convert it to white, by donating, and that is one way. Or you build hospital and your black money becomes white. There are many ways of doing it. Why take away the money that has been allocated for building parliament? We are talking about the parliament here, a new parliament. They are the temple of democracy. Why grudge the people of India a new parliament building which will accommodate more MPs?
Okay.
There are many ways of raising the money.
I want Satish K. Singh to come in now. Satish K. Singh, he's been quiet for some time.
Well, you see, when you are debating about a new parliament building, then the money thing should not be debated in my view. The problem is that, I mean, the kind of debate from both the sides what we are seeing is, from Sumit and Mr. Sastri, the problem here is that, yes, there has been a viral fiscal deficit, and the balance of payment is good because of one primary reason. We are not debating economics, but I thought I should say that your import has gone down because of the oil prices, but you are selling oil here in India at ₹90 per litre. So that's the other part. But I am not debating about the new parliamentary building. If the borders can't meet, you have to pump in money there. The problem is that at the same time, when you look at it, that you want to do away with the remnant of the British Raj, and you want to build a new theme for our 21st century. It is just a money doesn't count a lot. But having said that, Prime Minister is also making a pitch. A very important point that I want to state. He's also making a pitch that one nation, one election.
Okay. Okay, what we're going to do at this point in time,
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.